Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orbán continues to restrict reporting on the corona pandemic, although the judiciary recently agreed with an online portal complaining about it. An ordinance by the head of government was published in the National Law Gazette on Friday evening. Accordingly, the decision as to which media in the EU member states are allowed access to hospitals and other healthcare facility lies with his government's corona crisis team. In April in 2021, the Hungarian government decided that the ministry responsible for health would control press access to hospitals and vaccination centers. However, a court in Budapest declared this illegal on Wednesday. Only the directors of the respective hospitals have the right to decide. The opposition news portal telex.hu had complained. Now Orbán has put his new decree against it. The civil rights association TASZ is considering legal action now as well. Respect for the rule of law means that the government respects court decisions, the association said. Arbitrary legislation violates the constitution. Orbán has steered the state media and most of the private media towards government with economic pressure and pressure from the authorities. He is therefore criticized internationally. Despite international sanctions, North Korea continues to develop missiles and nuclear weapons. That's shown by a confidential report. In addition, the state could finance itself through cyber attacks. And despite international sanctions, North Korea continued to expand its armament program last year. This emerges from a confidential UN report, which was available to the AFP news agency on Saturday. Accordingly, although no nuclear tests or launches of ICBMs were reported in 2021, Pyongyang has further developed its ability to produce fissile nuclear material. Maintenance and development of North Korea's nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles infrastructure continued, and that was also part of the report, which was prepared by sanctions monitors and shared with the 15 members of the UN Security Council. And it said, North Korea continued to look abroad for materials, technology and know-how for these programs, including through cyber means and scientific research. North Korea has already carried out 7 significant weapon tests this year, including the most powerful missile launch since 2017. Pyongyang has also indicated that it will soon be able to test nuclear and long-range missiles again. North Korea is subject to severe sanctions for its weapons programs, including an export ban on coal, iron, lead, textiles, seafood, and other products. While Western countries continue to call for more pressure, Russia and China are pushing for sanctions to be eased on humanitarian grounds. According to the UN report, cyber attacks, particularly on cryptocurrency assets, are now an important source of revenue for the North Korean state. There was confusion about Chancellor Olaf Scholz's trip to Moscow. The German Tagesspiegel reports that Deutsche Welle is apparently not allowed to accompany Scholz on his trip in mid-February. The Press and Information Office of the German federal government had given the broadcaster a refusal to participate. But shortly after the report by the German newspaper Tagesspiegel, government spokesman Steffen Hebestreit said something on Twitter. To prevent any misunderstandings, Deutsche Welle has been invited to the Chancellor's trip to Moscow. And a spokesman for the Deutsche Welle confirmed that the report by the Tagesspiegel was correct. After the rejection, however, they have now received a commitment, he said in the evening. However, traveling with them also depends on whether the person concerned is granted a visa by Russia. On his travels in his government plane, the Chancellor is usually accompanied by a group of more than 20 journalists. However, the demand is always greater than the number of seats available on the plane. Deutsche Welle, together with other media, was initially rejected for capacity reasons, said a government spokesman to the German press agency on request. In subsequent discussions with the broadcaster, however, a constructive solution, as they call it, was found. With new confidants in Downing Street, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson wants to put the Partygate affair behind him and close the ranks of his Conservative Party. Cabinet member Steve Barclay, as Johnson's chief of staff and closest associate, is supposed to improve the culture at the seat of government. That was what Tory MPs had asked for. Guto Harry becomes the new communications director and is supposed to improve crisis management at the seat of government. Nevertheless, Johnson remains under considerable pressure within his own ranks. Another Tory MP, Nick Gibb, called on Johnson to resign. To restore confidence, we need to change the Prime Minister, Gibb wrote in an op-ed for The Telegraph on Saturday. Unfortunately, it is hard to imagine that Johnson is telling the truth. During the corona lockdowns, parties where rules were broken kept taking place in Downing Street and other government buildings. Johnson is said to have attended some of them himself. In several cases, the police are investigating. And if 54 Tories speak out against the Prime Minister, there would be a vote of no confidence within the party. According to media reports, around 20 such letters have been received so far. In response to an internal investigation that denounced leadership failure and high levels of alcohol consumption at Downing Street, Johnson had announced changes in his environment. A few days ago, several close employees suddenly resigned. Economy Minister Kwasi Kwarteng urged the party to support Johnson on Sunday. War is looming in Ukraine and domestically rising energy costs are threatening people, Kwarteng told the BBC. So I think focusing on the parties isn't the best way for us to address these issues. Yeah, that you want to avoid the party is clear. But Johnson shouldn't get rid of the scandal that quickly. The Mirror, citing unnamed sources, reported that police have a photograph of Johnson holding a beer can at a 2020 birthday celebration. The head of government repeatedly emphasizes that he was only present at meetings for a short time and only in connection with work appointments. And I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.